I've never used a compass to see where I'm going, and you shouldn't need one either. No one needs compasses, because I stick to the main road. Even then, I don't even need a map. I can find my car parked anywhere. Wait, what is that? It's a veteran! Welcome back to SOS. I'm Star Badass. I have no idea what that was about. Woo! Yeah, I had somebody on my page telling me that, well, telling other people I don't use a compass. I've never used a compass. Dude, if you go into Black Mountain or the Smoky Mountains or any of that stuff, as long as you stick to the main trails, you'll be fine. If you start veering off those trails, you better know where you've been and know where you're going and know what direction to head back. I'm just saying. Some people that usually say things like that are probably on unemployment. They sit around playing video games all day. I don't know who these people are. But man, look, I got kids, I got family to worry about, and if I go wandering off too far without knowing my sense of direction or having a good sense of direction or having help, I could get stuck out there for a really long time. I'm pretty sure my kids are going to be a little concerned if I don't make it back. Or I take way too long to find my way back. Don't take advice from people like that. If it's just like the people that tell you, winter's coming, so you gotta change all the air out in your tires to winter air. It's just ridiculous. Don't forget that radio gasket. What about muffler bearings? You got to get that muffler bearing for that Cadillac. Did you know the old Volkswagens had radiator caps? They sure didn't. People give advice. Oh man, it's just awful. And I think they do it just to get a rise out of people or get a kick out of it. Oh, anyway, let's talk about stuff. All right. So now when you think about food preps and things like that, I get a lot of questions about canned foods and stuff like that. I'm starting off as a prepper and I want to know how to get started. I get that question a lot, and it's a great question, and I want everyone to be prepared. I really do. We don't know what's coming. It could be anything. And some people might think, well, Trump's here now, so let me just hang my hat up. I don't need to worry about stuff anymore. No, that's not the case. You don't need to quit. You don't need to hang your hat up. I've been getting that a lot from other people. It's like a vibe. I don't know what it is. Other people have changed their tone. I talk to people at church, and people at church have changed their tone, and the way they don't sound so, I don't know, anxious or whatever it was that they used to. And we used to talk about food preps a lot, but it's just kind of died down. And me, it's ramping up. It's going full scale. I don't stop. It's January, 6 months. Every 6 months I go through my preps. I go through my food. I start going through my gear, and I start looking at all the things that I have and all the things that I will use. I just recently inventoried, say, bug out bags and things like that. I just recently did an inventory, but there was a few other inventoried gear list I needed to go through, like the baby bug out bag that I have to do tonight. I'm not doing it for this episode. It's for tonight. So you guys will probably see it tomorrow. But the thing is that we have to, and we have to think about everything, right? There's more to our lives than, now, for example, economic collapse and things are just way too ridiculous. The price of things are going to go through the roof. Tangible items, I know I've said it a million times on here. Okay, so having items to trade and barter, it's always good to have. And you might not have a baby. And I don't have a baby anymore. My kids have gotten older. And with the kids getting older, they don't need stuff like this. But I know a whole bunch of people that do have babies, and they probably did not prepare. Now, does it make sense for me to prepare for people that I know? Well, it's the right thing to do. And they might have something I need and I can trade. See what I mean? So if you get into this is just another option for you. Babies. All right. Infants and toddlers. Okay. Keep toddlers in mind as well. Now, the nutritional value of stuff like this is ridiculous. All right. Most people don't even read these things. They just get them. But this is a cereal, and you can add it to the formula. And if you have kids, you already know all that. So you're like, oh, stop talking to me. I know all this stuff. So if you already have kids, then I don't need to explain all that stuff. But for the ones that are watching that don't have kids, they might need to know. And the ratio and instructions and all that stuff you need to know are included. All you need to know, right? Now, some babies are a little bit more sensitive, so I keep this sensitive. And for any extra, for say a baby that's sitting up, you can go into the rice, and the rice nutritional value is ridiculous. If you read, I'll have you take a look at that real quick. See that? I don't have to sit and read off every one of them, but you see it's got a good nutritional content to it. But you could use this for yourself, or you could use it as a barter item. I'm just saying. It's not going to just go bad, so it's one of those items that you can keep for a long time. I'm not going to tell you how long to keep your stored milk. Some stored milk, like formulas and things like that, do last a long time. And it's just good for you to find out that stuff on your own. I'm not recommending to keep this stuff for freaking billions of years or anything. So you do your own research on how long you think you should keep them if you start getting into this stuff. It's just I'm sharing my ideas, okay? I've got to do inventory, and this is the things that I keep. So this is only a partial amount of it. I've got my crate in the floor that I'm actually going through. I just set some stuff up here, and I was like, dude, this would make a good little talk. So since I'm going through all this stuff, I figured I'd take you along with me into what I do. And part of one of the preps that I do is for my dog. Now, not just my dog. What if my dog croaks? What if we eat the dog? I'm just kidding. I don't know. Desperate times, MRE, right? Meal ready to eat. You got to eat the dog too, or other people's pets. They're not going to afford to be able to keep feeding them, so you might eat them. Anyway, you're gross. All right. So, what if there's no squirrels? You know, you're going to be spending all that time trying to hunt down squirrels. You got a dog or a cat right there. So, dog food. Okay. Now, you could eat dog food. Yes, you could eat dog food. I guarantee you, if times are that bad, you're going to eat this dog food, and it's going to be delicious. And some of the stuff's not that bad, like the dog bones. I had a dog bone just yesterday. It was delicious. It tasted a little bit like a stale cookie. I don't know I don't know what the flavor was exactly. It was kind of just bland, but I could eat it, and that was the point. And I was making a point to Sippy Cup that I could do it. She dared me, so I did it. But anyway, hopefully we'll have Sippy Cup with us tonight when we make the video. It's always fun to get her take on, especially with the baby stuff. I've got a kit here that we've got to go through. But anyway, another item you can do. Think about your pets, right? Prep for them too, right? Or other people's pets. It might be a good protection. It might be good for security, right? Keep a dog alive. I know this stuff is just ridiculous. All right. Another item that I like to do. Now, sometimes when I eat top ramen, or I eat like the noodle junk, and I get that pack, and I'm like, dude, I don't think I want to. So I keep my chicken flavors and beef flavors and stuff like that, because technically I can use them for many other uses. You can use some of this stuff with canning. You can use this stuff with a meal. You make a meal, and it's always good to have some flavor in stuff. You don't want it being bland, and in the apocalypse, sometimes a good comfort item is food. All right, food to keep people going. And if you've got something to make food taste better, then you're going to be in there like swimwear, right? You're going to be like the cool dude on the block. Hey, you're not inviting everyone in your home. Get that straight too. I'll have another class for that one. Pretend you don't have anything. I have nothing. But you still want to be able to find out where those places are. You're going to be able to barter. One thing that I do that's free, anytime me and Sippy Cup head out to eat, when we go through drive-thrus and stuff, we keep this stuff, right? And you might have different methods and techniques of doing this, and it's a free prep. And what if you want catsup? You know, some ketchup. For example, ketchup. What if you want ketchup? Just saying. There's expiration dates for some things, right? Arby's barbecue sauce for that squirrel. If I go eating a squirrel and I want some flavor, he's going to be tasting like Arby's. Alright, remember, boil your squirrel. Boil it first. Then you can cook it. Now, pot roast would make great for squirrel. Like 10 of them. 2 or 3 of them are not going to be much of a meal. Maybe a sandwich, okay? Just so you know. I don't know how many of you guys and gals hunt. But your soy sauce, you got to have soy sauce. I got this with, sometimes we get like Chinese food and stuff. Taco Bell sauce. There's more in here. Creamers. Hey, this is another one I was trying to find earlier. Now, if you can find places that have like the non-dairy creamer, sometimes you get like name brand stuff. Get it and keep it. Just because you're not going to eat it doesn't mean we're in a wasteful society, man. And people just throw stuff away, and it's still good, and it's going to be good for a long time. And one of these days, you're going to be that guy or gal that's sitting there crying because all they wanted was some Tapatio, right? I know I will be. I want some Tapatio. Anyway, but yeah, you never know what you're going to find. This is just one of the little pouches I have here, and I get these things in my noodle mixes. It's just freeze dried, and you've got all your information on here that you need. But you can mix this stuff up, man. Make a stew, a crock pot or something, some type of crazy meal. I might be able to can and add that to a meat that I'm canning. You know, it's freeze dried, so it might absorb a little bit of the liquid. So I have to look into that, but it's always good ideas, right? It's good to have ideas. And I do drink packets. I put these in storage too, drink mixes. And hey, it might be another comfort item. You have to think about, it's not just what you can prep or what you can store, it's also comfort items, okay? Keep in mind comfort items. You have to be able to try and go around that as well, and try to keep everyone happy. If you start ending up with a bunch of sad, depressed people, then you got people that are like committing suicide next, you know? So you don't want people offing themselves. If you need Billy to go out and be able to garden and take care of things for you, keep Billy in a good mental mindset, and it's always good to have items like this and ration it out correctly. Just saying. It's just another idea. Alright, another one. There's a whole bunch of this stuff here. It's ridiculous. I keep a lot of hot cocoa, and this powder mix will last forever. It's just another good item to have. It might entertain the kids or somebody. And then sometimes when I mix up food around the house, I don't use the original stuff. Like packages of fudge stuff that I've got. It's like dried. And then let's see what I've got here. This is a topping. This is cheese mix. This is randomized cheese mix that I kept. And taco sauce, taco seasoning. Taco seasoning goes with everything, especially squirrels. Pistachio, gotta have that pistachio. It's more stuff to keep in mind. I just set a few items up here to kind of go through real quick with you guys, to give you some more ideas for things you can put away for storing items. Another one that a lot of people don't talk about is, what if you're in a financial collapse? Bartering items. What about condoms? I know I got the baby stuff here, but what about stuff to prevent having a baby? I'm just saying. You don't think they're going to procreate? They probably will. They're probably going to want condoms. And if you're the only dude on the block with a bunch of condoms, then there you go. And you could use them for other things, obviously. When I can, when Sippy Cup cans, we love using this with meat, with steak, anything beef. But it's better than beef bouillon. Alright? Get some of that stuff. It's always good to have some in storage if you know you might end up canning, or if you're getting into it. I have another one here, another beef bouillon. This is the cubes. That's the cube version of it. It's not going to go bad. I can keep this in here forever. It's just another item. And then anything spicy and hot sauce stuff. When I go get pizza, I always save this stuff. And the Parmesan cheese. I know I got somewhere around here somewhere. Yeah, I don't see it in front of me, but it's okay. Teas, herbal teas. Keep herbal tea packets. Sloppy Joe, right? It's not a channel about just showing you a bunch of stuff. I'm just trying to give you ideas. A few other different things. Beef flavor. And I'm going to do a bean ordeal. Dude, these things, right? Now, it requires water, okay? So you're going to need some water and you're going to have to boil these things. But bags of beans. You want to talk about expiration date? There you go. You're worried about that can of beans 7 years later? Well, here you go. I'm getting ready to put together another 5-gallon bucket. I need to do a bucket for you guys so you guys really see hands-on how it really does work. So you guys can start your own buckets. It's the beginning of the year. You guys need to start. I've had a lot of questions about beginners, people that are getting started that have not done this yet or done anything yet. Some people even say if you haven't started prepping now, there's no sense in even starting, but that's not true. I totally disagree with that comment and that statement. I've heard that a lot. People just give up and they said, dude, don't do that. You don't need to do that. It's not true. Don't listen to naysayer haters. I mean, there are a lot of angry people in the world today, and there are a lot of awful things people will say. I mean, if you want to get into this stuff, do it. Just do it sparingly. Time, you might not have a lot of money, but take your time. This is a free one for you guys. These right here, I just started that. That was leftover stuff from food. You know what I mean? This I gathered over time, and some people would bring me this stuff. I said, hey dude, you go out to eat a lot. Billy's like, yeah, I go out to eat all the time. Hey Billy, next time you go out to eat, why don't you grab some stuff for me? And next thing you know, I ended up with more than what I needed of this stuff. But that's good for other people, right? I could barter with that stuff. When was the last time you had ketchup? What would you do for it? Like if you've got potatoes and you don't have ketchup, but you say you can't get the tomatoes to grow or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. I'm just saying, think of so many different things you can think of, right? I can go on and on about this stuff. Billy forgot this and, so-and-so forgot that. Or mustard. I guess you could always use mustard greens. Oof, boy, that would taste awful. Mustard greens are epic. If you've ever had any of those things, oof, man, that leaves a taste in your mouth. All right. So these are not from me. They just so happen to say SOS. But if you want to look them up, I'm sure you type in SOS seeds. Non-GMO, 10,000 seeds, 30 varieties. But there's all sorts of vegetables and yada, yada, yada. I think I found this at Amazon or somewhere. But it's in a Mylar bag. It will last forever. I've seen the contents of one already because I've already ripped one open and had a look. But it is what it says it is. So it's exactly that. Bug out bags, right? You're building one, you're putting one together. Well, say you're not. Say you're just doing food storage, food preps. Well, when you do your food preps and you got like crazy mad stuff like this, take this, throw it in there with it, right? There you go. And then when you're going through your stuff and it is that time and you need to figure out how to get a garden going, there you go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? There you go. I hope this helps. All right. I'm not trying to be like, oh, look at what all I got. This isn't what I do here. This is just me. I'm doing an inventory today, and I wanted to show you kind of some more ideas. Because I don't think I've really talked about baby foods and stuff like that. When there's baby foods, too, there's also jars. Now, be careful with baby foods. They expire and extinguish fast. I've watched baby foods, like I've tried to store them, and dude, it was like a year later, and they literally just like sucked in, just crazy. They do not hold very well. That's something you'll have to stay on top of if you want to keep baby jar food. But if you have a garden and you're growing food, you can blend and mush food for a baby pretty easy. Okay, It's not that hard to do. But they're going to need something until they get to that point of eating, right? Eating. They're going to need their formula, right? So you've got that point. As if, the mother's not producing milk kind of thing. Animals is another way to go. Just throwing it out there. Another idea for you. But then it goes into a whole nother series of talks. Homesteading and animals and stuff like that. Whew. Squirrel milk. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that or try to milk a squirrel. I don't even know how that would go. Or a cat. Yep, that's the end of my comedy for today. All right, guys, gals. You're watching SOS. I'm Staff Sergeant Badass. Have a great day. Take it easy.